Guys, I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and that's probably because most of the people I know are in their mid-20s like me. Now look, there's a lot of questions first-time home buyers have, and the easiest way for us to go through them all is for us to have a conversation. So you guys are welcome to call me at this number right here, and I'd love to talk to you about them. It's no pressure at all, and I'm super happy to help. But in this video today, I want to walk through the top 10 first-time home buyer tips. Rapid fire. Let's go. Number 1. Ask yourself if you're ready to settle down for the next 4 to 6 years, because that's really what a home means. The reason that the rule is 4 to 6 years is because that's when you start to hit your break-even point, which means that buying a home ended up being worth it financially. If you want to buy a home for, say, 1 or 2 years and then sell it right away, your closing costs and the fees that you have to pay at closing for your property are probably going to make that not worth it. So when you do buy a home, plan to be there for 4 to 6 years at least. Number 2, figure out what your credit is and work on it. There's an app that I personally use called Credit Sesame. It's a good app. It's not perfect. There's some things in there that might not be exactly how your credit is pulled when you go to buy a house, but it's pretty close. And there are many ways to work on your credit. It could be paying off your car, could be closing an account down that's hurting you negatively, could be opening more accounts. Maybe you don't have enough accounts. So there's all kinds of things. That's something we can talk about. Number 3, figure out your budget. What do you want your monthly payment to be, basically? A good rule of thumb is to take your monthly household income, so your take-home pay, and then multiply that times 0.33. And what that'll give you is 33% of your income for the month. And you're going to take that and make that your kind of benchmark for your maximum payment. You don't really want to pay 40% or 50% or higher in your monthly take-home pay, because that can make you house poor, basically. House poor meaning that you're spending so much money on your house that you can't afford to save for things like groceries or any emergencies that come up, things like that. You don't want to be in that situation. You want to have a affordable house payment. Dave Ramsey even takes it a step further and says to save 25% for a home. So, I mean, that is very frugal, and you're welcome to do that if you want. Number 4, we're going to save up some cheddar, save up some coin for that down payment, and don't forget about your closing costs. Now, unless you're going to do a 0% down plan, which we can talk about if you want, you're going to need about 3 or maybe 5% at least to buy a home, and then you're going to want another 3% for closing costs. So at the closing table, you could be talking about somewhere between 6 and 10% at the least of the home's value that you're going to be paying at closing. So as a first-time home buyer, you really want to know how much to save up before you even start thinking about all the rest of the stuff. Number 5, we're going to shop around for some lenders. Now, there are a lot of banks out there and a lot of lenders who would love to give you a mortgage, but what you want to find out is the best interest rates you can get. I personally have a short list of all my favorite lenders that I'd love to show you. And what goes along with that is number 6, which is get pre-approved. Pre-approval is a very important part of the process because it lets you know how much you can actually afford. Maybe you wanted to save up, $200,000 for a house and you find out you can get $300,000, or the reverse. Maybe you wanted a $300,000 house and now you're looking at $200,000 because that's what you're pre-approved for. Which again is why saving that amount of cheddar, that amount of money, and finding out what your credit is so important, because you want to know this stuff before you even get pre-approved, but sometimes you don't. Number 7. Call your realtor. Call me. I'd love to talk to you. You're going to need a realtor for a lot of things, but the main stuff is going to be that contract, writing your offer, doing negotiating, things like that. And we're going to have to talk strategy together, and I'd love to be that guy for you. But if it's not me, definitely work with another realtor to figure that kind of stuff out. Number 8, make a needs and wants list for your property. For a lot of people, they need a 3-bedroom at least. If you're one of those people that is a need for you, put that on your needs list. If you have a want, like maybe a garage, maybe you want a 2-car garage instead of a 1-car garage, and that's a want. You can live without it, but you really want it. Put that on your wants list. But you want to really hammer home the property you want, because it'll be really hard to find out, where we should even go look if you don't really know your needs and wants for the property. Number 9, figure out which area you'd like to live in. A lot of the time what we do as realtors is have you make a top 3 schools list, which would mean maybe if you're in South Central PA like I am, maybe you want Cumberland Valley as your first choice. you want Central Dauphin as your second choice, and you want Lower Dauphin as your third choice for school districts. You may not have kids now, and I don't either, but this will be something that's important to you in the coming years if you stay in the property for 5 to 10 to 15 years. And finally, number 10, let's start shopping. Honestly, once we get the rest of that stuff done, you're really just going to start looking at properties and kind of figuring out where you really want to be. And I'll really handle the rest from there. The rest of it is all on me. You guys just find which house you would like. As long as you're pre-approved, we're good. So thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been my top 10 tips for first-time home buyers. Again, if you guys need to talk to me personally, you can call me right here. My number will be on the screen for you. And I'd love to help you on your journey. So thanks. See ya.